Welcome to the podcast. We do recover with Jared Miller, your host.
And I'm Dr. Terry Sellers, your co-host.
This is a podcast about recovery from addiction.
We want to talk about what successful recovery can look like.
Brought to you by Steps Recovery Center and the St. George Hilton Garden Inn.
All right, everybody. For episode 75, I have invited in some friends from Fame RC. For those of you that don't know, we're gonna get to what Fame stands for, but RC stands for Riders Club. Thank you so much. So super excited to get to introduce these guys. Get to this episode 75. It's crazy. I've done 75 episodes, man.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
It was just like yesterday, we were recording this thing in the attic of a buddy's business. So we've come a long ways, man. It's been pretty cool. Before we get to all that though, episode 75, part 1 is brought to you by Steps Recovery Centers, where they are ready to help you or a loved one get help as soon as you're ready to reach out. You can reach out to them by calling them at 801-800-8142, or you can visit their website. Just go to stepsrc.com. And again, they're ready to help you or a loved one get help as soon as you're ready to reach out. You guys may have some experience with Steps, huh? Talk to me, big dog.
Hey, what's up, Jared? So, a big shout out to Steps Recovery Center. I'm not only in recovery, but I do work for Steps Recovery, and I have for the past 6 years. And it is by far the best treatment center in all of Utah, probably the world.
Yeah, no, I agree. I say that every week. I'm like, I may be a little bit biased because I work for them, but they're amazing. They're fantastic.
Absolutely. Julie Watson is probably the best house manager you could ever have. She's
now
great to work for.
He may have a little bit of bias there too. So who's Julie to you?
Julie's my wife.
Fantastic. And Julie she's an amazing house manager. So thank you. Did I miss something?
Oh,
sweet.
No, you're good. You're good, bro.
Directing traffic with 4 people on here is going to be a tough challenge. So thanks to those guys. We appreciate Steps Recovery Center for sponsoring our podcast. All right. So we always start off with kind of new and goods, right? Practice a little positive psychology. It's real easy to complain about gas prices, real easy to complain about, the stuff the president's saying about President Putin and all the craziness that's going on in the world, right? We can all agree to that, yeah?
Absolutely.
So what is some positive stuff, a.k.a. new and goods, going on in your life? And I'm going to have Aaron, a.k.a. Big Dog, start us off.
Shoot, that one's easy, Jared. So, hey, I'm really blessed. I got nothing to complain about. I got to say, along with having one of the best supportive wives in the world, who loves motorcycles and loves football.
How did you luck out, man? That's a great combo.
God was looking out for me. I'm telling you, brother. It's just been a hell of a ride. It really has. I'm coming up here next month on 14 years clean.
That's new and good.
That's new and good. And it's gone by fast. And I'm telling you, man, I just do what's fun. Recovery's fun. Riding Harleys is fun.
I love that because it's like I didn't get clean to just be bored out of my mind and turn into a square, right? You got to enjoy yourself. You got to have a good time.
If it was square, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks. I appreciate you checking in with us.
Hey, you got it, bro.
All right, next is going to be Christian, a.k.a. Crispy. What's new and good in your world, man?
You're going to have to forgive me if I'm a little starstruck in the presence of the famous Jared Miller. I've been watching you here for a while.
Get out of here, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Hey, and congratulations on your 75th episode. That's really awesome, man. Good work you're doing here.
Hey, there's no ego. We're all equal, man.
Absolutely. Everything's good in my life. I mean, there's life is life, but I'm still clean. I'm still riding my Harley around town. I'm still free in the wind, and I'm working towards finally getting back into St. George so I don't have to work in Mesquite any further, and there's hope there. So I'm excited for that news.
That's awesome.
How about that new Harley though, Prez? That's new and good.
Well, yeah, I got a new Harley about a month and a half ago.
He completely forgot his brand new Harley, huh?
That's a part of me though, that just kind of comes with the package. So.
Oh, yeah, I get that. Yeah. Yeah, it's just an extension of you, so.
Absolutely.
It ain't no thing.
Absolutely.
Cool. And then we got Randy, a.k.a. Diz. What's new and good in your world, buddy?
Man, just the world, period, is new and good. I had almost 8 years clean. Went out, just took my 2 years last month. So that's super good for me to be, back in the 1 year period where I can raise my hand again. That's awesome. I've been waiting for that. And just life. Life is good today. Happy times, riding the Harleys, like Aaron said, with the brothers. Can't beat that, going out with your brothers and just going for a nice ride. Looking forward to, a couple rides we got coming up, and just, it's good times.
Yeah, dude. And listen, I've watched you guys for a while, and the bond and the connection that I've seen grow, as a substance abuse counselor, we teach a lot of like the social piece, right? Who you surround yourself with. And to watch you guys and what you guys are doing, it's fantastic because it's creating that social connection, that social piece. So yeah, that's why I'm super excited to have you guys on. I'm starstruck having you guys on here, man. Like we've been trying to do this for a minute, right, Aaron?
Yeah, we sure have.
We have. So we got it figured out. Okay. First of all, though, we found out Crispy rides a Harley. So I got to know what the rest of you guys, Aaron, what do you ride, man?
2020 Harley Davidson Electric Glide.
Woo.
Street Guide, isn't it?
No.
Oh, it's
Electric Glide,
Okay.
Police Edition.
That's right.
Nice.
Pumped up.
He had that down. You know what I mean?
It'll beat any bike in town.
There you go. Oh, there you go. And Crispy, what was yours? What kind of Harley you got?
2017 Street Glide Special.
Nice.
Which one?
And Diz?
I got a 2020 Road Glide and then a 2002 Electric Glide.
Nice. And so can I borrow one?
You can borrow the Electric Glide. It don't got a belt, so it don't move anyways.
Hey, Jared, you can get on the back of my 85 Suzuki. Hold on tight. We'll go for a ride.
Sean Denovan, I almost forgot you. What's new and good, buddy? What's new? I didn't forget you. I was coming back to you.
It's fine. I always have to just kind of poke in and go, hey, I ride this like 40-year-old piece of crap and still keep up with the guys.
That's awesome.
It's all good.
So what is yours?
New
What,
and good.
what do you got?
I sold my lot in Tocqueville. That's all said and done.
Nice.
So and then I think I said last week the wife bought a motorcycle. So this weekend's going to be buying stuff and getting her bike all ready for the road.
We got to get you connected with these guys, and
I know these guys. We kind of intersect.
Well, I want a picture of you guys all together riding. These guys.
They cropped me out of the pictures because of my bike.
They
let me go on the ride, but they cropped me out.
What did you say? It's more Home Depot than Harley.
Oh yeah. My bike is 100% ghetto.
It's cool though, man.
But the one thing I do say is I've watched a lot of these Harley friends of mine. They have to get towed home, and they have to make things. I've never been towed home. Thank you.
Nice.
Been to Canada and back. Been to Sturgis and back. Crossed the desert. Never had to be towed home. So that's my little claim to fame.
So it's reliable.
Yeah. Although if I had another $25,000, I'd buy a Harley, but I got this thing for like $1,500, and I'm getting every penny I can out of it.
There you
anyway,
go.
Jared, what's your new and good?
Oh my!
And good.
Missed
There
that.
it is.
It's all yours.
There it is. My new and good. Let's see. My new and good is I'm taking some time off work this week. Gonna be doing some studying. I got my test coming up, so I'm excited to finally get state certified in what I do. Technically, I'm still just a intern. So yeah, so I'm excited for that. That'll be good. That's my new and good. I'm with you guys though, like every day, right? Every day is new and good. It's fantastic. Okay, so talk to us. For people that have been listening, we're almost 10 minutes into this thing. They're probably wondering, okay, what does FAME stand for?
Family Affiliated Motorcycle Enthusiast.
Family Affiliated Motorcycle Enthusiasts. And who came up with that name?
I did.
Boom. How did you come up with it?
Family Affiliated stands for our relation to the anonymous fellowship that we follow and our connection to that group. And then Motorcycle Enthusiast speaks for itself.
Way cool. Mm-hmm. So you guys all are in a fellowship. You all work a program.
Absolutely.
Did you guys all know each other through that fellowship?
Yes.
Yeah.
Way cool. And the common interest was?
Motorcycles.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I used to, when I was early in the fellowship, before I was even clean, 10 years ago, I used to see Aaron and Phil and other guys and Dave, folks that he was riding with. They would roll up to the meeting, and for me, that was an inspiration. That's what I want. If you fast forward my life 10 years, like these guys were the example to me.
That's so cool, dude. That is so cool. You remember those times back then, Big Dog?
I sure do. I was riding that pink cloud back then, and I still am.
Nice. Well, good. So talk to me about how. So you get the name put together. Do you guys already all had bikes?
Yes.
When did it really start to kind of take off? I know you guys now have a logo. You got a Facebook page, right? Like when did it really start to kind of get gravity and start moving?
So what started is we formulated the idea back in 2019. We had the idea sooner than that, but there was a lot of different moving parts that are associated with it. But before we had motorcycles, we had talked about it. And shout out to Chaos. He was the first one to grab a motorcycle in my immediate inner circle. And we immediately connected with that. We got motorcycles quickly from that point and said, hey, let's stop talking about it and actually do it. So there's some dynamics in motorcycle culture as far as setting up the club goes, and we took care of that so we could be recognized. And then we were off to the races at that point.
Cool. So explain the difference to me, Randy, between a motorcycle club and a riders club.
So motorcycle club would stand for motorcycle club. MC, that would be motorcycles club. They're the hierarchy basically of the food chain in the world, in the MC world.
Okay.
And then riders club is just, we're more enthusiasts. We don't have a solid commitment like they do. We're not committed 100% to the club. Life does not 100% revolve around the club. It revolves around life. Whereas with the MC world, it revolves around the club. I mean, if your brother tells you, if he's in Vegas and you're here and he tells you, I need a pack of cigarettes, you get up and you go get that pack of cigarettes and take it to him.
Got you. So there isn't quite as much hazing and stuff. It's just a group of guys getting together that love to ride, right? And they all, it sounds like you guys all, Fame anyways, ride for a purpose. Aaron, talk to me about that purpose. Like, are you guys a sobriety riders club?
100%. I mean, recovery is a huge part of our club. Obviously, it's definitely no alcohol or drugs or pills.
Right.
No synthetic anything, we're 100% clean. And that's what it's about.
I love it. That's fantastic. So Christian on March 13th wrote on social media, hope can be delivered with loud pipes, wind, and freedom. What inspired you to post that? And it's got a picture of all you guys in your bikes.
That represents what we stand for as a club. Naturally, a lot of the club is based on ourselves, right? There's a portion of that, the freedom that we enjoy, the brotherhood that we enjoy. But what our purpose as a club is, it is a platform that we use to support the recovery community, right? Whether it be so-and-so needs bodies to help them move something from house A to house B. If somebody's struggling through financial support and we see them and we know them and we know that it's valid, we can come band together and make a difference in that individual's lives because they're in recovery and because they're working a program. Sometimes life happens, right? And with us, it's a little bit different because, we don't require forms. We don't require, you don't have to, if somebody's in some trouble, we have the ability to show up and help them. And so that's the message that we're putting out and attempting to putting out to the recovery community is we're not out here just writing for ourselves. We are 100% out here writing for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That community support. That's fantastic. And look, let's just say that, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. I'm not trying to badmouth any organization or anything like that. But typically motorcycle clubs, based on, if you watch historical films and things like that, they have a little bit of a rougher edge. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's kind of the right. The thing I love about what you guys are doing, though, is it's the opposite of that. The message is about recovery. The message is recovery is possible. There's hope. Yeah, that's fantastic. So let's talk about some of the community stuff that you guys have done. As you can tell, I've come prepared here as the mics go silent. Okay, August 15th, 2021. I see that you guys raised some money for female and sober living.
Correct.
Who wants to tackle that one?
Go ahead, Crispy.
So we did a fundraiser, which was in April, and the objective was to raise scholarship funds for sober living residents. So it was actually 2 scholarships that we provided, one for a female and one for a male, and it was a full ride scholarship into sober living, off the streets into sober living.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes folks are out there. When I look back on my story, I wanted to get clean long before I got clean. But when I got clean, it was still the recovery community, the treatment centers, all of that stuff was still fairly new. So we didn't have as readily available resources as we do right now. So the objective was to give that individual a hand up. And we obviously can't control how well that they do or how long it lasts for them. But if we can change somebody's life by getting them off the street and giving them a shot, what they do with it is up to them. But we're 100% adamant about providing that shot.
And that's incredible, right? Because some individuals don't have that opportunity. Like some individual, if you're on the streets, how are you going to be able to do that unless somebody comes along and is willing to help you kind of, all right, look, we'll support you in your first step. And like you said, Crispy, from that point on, it's up to you. So talk to me a little bit about, let's hear from you, Aaron. Like what participation did you have in that? Do you remember the event that you guys had? You guys raise money?
I do remember the event. It was a poker run, correct?
Harley Davidson.
Oh, Harley Davidson. Yeah. So we had we got together, advertised it, got together Harley Davidson, and we had some pretty cool games, motorcycle games, and it was a huge turnout. I think it was better than our club even expected.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Where was it at?
Harley Davidson.
Zion Harley Davidson.
Oh, wow. At the Harley Davidson store.
Sean actually made an ad for that one.
Sean Denneman.
I did?
Yeah, that was the one you made the ad
Oh,
for.
yeah, I did. Yeah, of course I went.
You didn't even know you were a part of that thing,
I'm
huh?
so famous, I don't realize how famous I am here.
That's
so.
super cool. That's way cool. What kind of memories did you have from that, Randy?
It was just good times, man. Getting out there, riding, doing the games. The wife on the back of the bike and doing the games with her on the bike, and just spending time with the family. The brothers and the brotherhood, because that's a big part of the riding, is having a brotherhood. And we're all we got solid brotherhood here, and so that's the things that I enjoy and love. And of course, the food.
Yeah, hey, now you're talking my language. Absolutely, the food, for sure. So, and then I know that back in July, around July 31st of 2021, you got there, talk to me about, there was a baseball event, St. George PD versus Recovering Addicts, the 3rd annual softball game. What did you guys do? What part did you guys play in that?
That was awesome. That was we actually all met up prior to the game. And then as they were getting ready to start the game, we all rode up the side of the field on our Harleys, circled around inside the field, presented the flag, and everybody sang the national anthem. And then we got back on our Harleys and rode on out. And that was the police officers against convicts softball game. So that was pretty cool.
Convicts.
Cops versus convicts. Yeah.
Awesome.
A huge shout out to Ty Impey for inviting us to do that.
Absolutely.
That was really awesome.
That was very standout on that one. That's one that stands out in my mind for years to come. It'll still stand out.
Yeah, it was special.
Any other events that you guys have done that I wasn't able to find on social media that you want to talk about?
We did have a poker run during our first year. That was just to help a fellow addict that was going through some personal issues. We've got events coming up. We'll make sure you know about those. All of the events too, like we throw the event, but there's a lot of support from other local clubs and the motorcycle community in general, and it's something that we definitely do together. They're all very supportive of what we're doing as a club.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, so we've kind of introduced you guys. We've painted this picture of what you do in the community, how you help out. But I know on some level, like this club has to be super important to you and your own recoveries. So maybe let's start with Aaron. Like, what is it that this club really, how does it help you stay clean? How does it help you stay working a program, stay involved in working on bettering yourself?
Well, for one thing, these guys keep me in check, which is a big job.
So a little bit of accountability?
Yeah. And if I do something wrong or I say something wrong or I'm not doing something, my brothers are going to let me know.
Yeah,
so it's, it's an accountability. And, it's about having fun. It's about having fun in recovery.
Which I see you doing a lot of.
Oh, yeah.
Just the other weekend.
Every chance we get.
You were down at the Virgin River with the wife and the pit bull.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Man. I was jealous. Did you guys ride your bike down there?
No.
Cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, bro.
I do a little Facebook stalking before I come on here to have some ammunition.
Nice.
So yeah, cool. So just kind of the accountability piece, having a group of people you can hang around, like-minded individuals. Anything else you want to add?
Well, I got to say, I've always rode, with friends, never in a club.
Yeah.
I've been riding pretty much my whole life since I was 14. So, I always looked at clubs like I don't need a club to be tough. I'm already tough, right?
Sure.
But I was missing an important part of the brotherhood.
That camaraderie.
The camaraderie.
Feeling like you belong.
You know, if I'm running into trouble in recovery, who do you go to? You know,
Your support systems.
the brotherhood is where it's at. You know, I don't run to a female and ask for help. I run to the brotherhood. I mean, the sisters in recovery are way cool. I love them. But the brotherhood's where it's at for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how you keep yourself still married and out of trouble.
Exactly.
Right?
My
I got a
wife
chuckle from Randy on that one.
My wife encourages me to ride with these guys.
Yeah. Oh,
And it's, you know, it's a level of trust like no other. When you're going 80, 90 mile-an-hour down the freeway, you know, I trust these guys to be right by me, like within inches. I trust them with my life, basically. You know, and there's no other feeling like that in the world.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level of connection for sure. For sure. All right, Crispy, what does this being a part of Fame really do for you in your recovery?
It does a lot of things. It keeps me really, really busy.
Right, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sure.
that it definitely does. But it's also a matter of a standard that's expected of me. Not everybody in the club is equal, right? We all have different service positions, but there's no hierarchy in the club as far as who runs the show and whatnot. Like, we're all equal brothers. But the accountability that I'm held to, if I am having a really rough time and I need to talk about it, like that, they're there no matter what. You know, if I have an emergency, whether it be a medical emergency, someone that I'm close to that that needs help, I can put a message out and they will be there in a matter of minutes. Like, we had one of our brothers, unfortunately, got hit by a car not too long ago, and he's healed and is doing well. I'm sure you know the situation, but we were able to show up as a club, take care of his motorcycle, take care of him long before the cops were all done doing what they were doing, long before he was off in the ambulance. It was just a matter of minutes, and having that resource is a miracle in itself. But if I'm struggling and if I take a drink of anything or if I use anything, I'm out of the club, right? It doesn't mean that they're not going to help me and support me on my way back in, but I have to walk away, and it's just not worth it to me. And so if I run into that moment, I can process that, and it's just not worth walking away from the brotherhood.
So it's basically you value it higher than that substance or that drink. It gives you something that's more important, in a way, kind of your higher power or higher group of people that helps overcome that urge.
100%.
Yeah. Man, I'm loving this so much.
I got one other thing I got to add that I forgot. So when I joined Fame,
No take backs. Just kidding.
no, this one's
Go
good.
ahead,
It's
go ahead.
important, bro.
You know I love you. Come on, man.
So
Let's get
hey,
it.
so listen, it was like during COVID,
Yeah.
and they had the Alano Club shut down, right? And I was feeling that isolation, which is danger for somebody like us.
Red flags.
So Fame was my way of getting together with these guys and talking recovery and talking out those issues where, you know, the Zoom meetings weren't cutting it for me.
Right, yeah.
I'd be sitting in my jacuzzi looking at Zoom, not paying attention, and I wasn't getting anything from them. I really wasn't. So, yeah, these guys, man, they basically saved my life.
Yeah. I love it. Can you picture Big Dog just chilling in a jacuzzi on a Zoom meeting?
I was on a couple of them Zoom meetings.
I love it. I love it, man. Cool. Talk to me, Diz. What is being a part of Fame really do for you in your recovery? And I'm sorry that you had to go last, man.
No, you're
these
good.
guys may have taken everything. So just say ditto if you need to.
No. So just a couple things. Like, I went through a time, and in recovery, we got to learn to reach out to each other. You know, we got to learn to tell people when we're hurting or when something's going on. And I just got through a period where I didn't reach out. I let anger and stuff just took over, and I got mad, and I really got mad, and I abused those brothers that I cared about the most, and I lost my patch for a while. And I was like, it's like losing a brother or losing a mother. You know, it was that deep of a hole in my heart. I hurt so bad. And I had to work my way back to get my patch back, and you know, just recently got it back, and so that brotherhood is like amazing, and to have those guys there, and to know that I can always look towards someone and say, hey man, I need some help. You know, that really just opened that up in my eyes and let me see that and let me see how much that brotherhood meant to me in that way. So
Beautiful, Diz. We're going to get back to that as soon as we have this little 30-second commercial break from our sponsors, Steps Recovery Centers.
You are listening to We Do Recover with Jared Miller and co-hosted by Dr. Terry Sellers. We'll be right back after this short break with more of We Do Recover with Jared Miller, sponsored by Steps Recovery Center and the Hilton Garden Inn.
I'm Desmond Lomax, one of the clinical executives here at Steps Recovery, and once you become the Steps family, you're just a part of the Steps family. A lot of us have overcome substances, overcome addiction, and now we're able to help other people. Second of all, we're also going to help you in a way where you can afford to be helped. Third of all, we're going to give you the same quality that many organizations are charging 2 to 3 times, and it's more about you than it is about our organization.
We welcome you back to We Do Recover with Jared Miller, co-hosted by Dr. Terry Sellers. Brought to you by Steps Recovery Center and the St. George Hilton Garden Inn. And now with part 2 of our podcast, Jared Miller and Dr. Terry Sellers.
Thank you for that message, Desmond Lomax. This has been fun, guys. So for those of you that are just catching this, episode 75, part 1 was all about getting to know some of the guys from Fame, finding out what Fame stands for, some of the community events that they've been participating in, what being a part of a writers club means to them and how it helps them in their recovery, really what sets Fame apart from other writing groups. And I mean, this has just been fun. This is really what it's all about, right? The connection piece, everything you guys are sharing. I love it. But right before, let's get this knocked out. So episode 75, part 2 is brought to you by the Hilton Garden Inn. If you or a loved one are traveling through St. George, check out the Hilton Garden Inn. They have amazing amenities. They're always clean, beautiful rooms. They have a really nice pool. Can't say enough about the service. And then also, sponsorship mention number 2, episode 75, part 2 is also brought to us by Recovery Strong. Recovery Strong is all about fighting addiction and strengthening recovery. If you want to wear your recovery out loud and basically say, give the old thumbs up to the stigma, go to recoverystrong.com. Click on the gear tab. They have some really cool t-shirts, really cool hats. It all goes to a really good cause. The Shaws are amazing. They're always are giving back and doing community events and things like that. So I actually got on one of their shirts today. Pretty sweet little Recovery Strong shirt, Recovery Strong hat. So thanks to all our sponsors. Love those guys. Okay, let me just real quick. Diz was in the moment. Dude, when you were talking, it kind of went from nervousness and a little bit of some laughter to vulnerable, dude. Your whole body language shifted. I could tell you started I could tell that this means a lot to you by what you shared.
it's the club is super important to me. It's something my wife knows. My whole family knows that that this is life or death for me. I mean, that's recovery as well. It's life or death. I need to stay connected with the brotherhood. I need to stay connected with the people around me. And when I was away from the club, I disconnected from everybody for a while, and it was a scary point in my life, and it definitely was. I was coming up on 2 years, and I'm grateful I made it to that 2 years because I was in a bad place, and luckily my brothers loved me through it. They, even though I'd done what I'd done, they still loved me. They still were there for me, guiding me, helping me, and keeping me through. I didn't use or nothing like that. It was just the anger part of it. But the brothers helped me through it, and I was able to put my patch back on, and I'm able to sit here today with wearing my patch as a member.
I love that. Because you can talk about how deep the connection is and how much it means to you. But I mean, that's the closest you're probably ever going to see Randy come to tears, right? It's a pretty tough dude sitting over there.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show that the level of meaning that you guys have. All right, Sean. Sean's got a question for our guys.
Oh, this is a little on the lighter side, though. You each have a nickname, and there's usually a story to go with the nickname. You guys want to share your story?
This is
for your nickname?
Some insider information here.
Mine just came from when I was in recovery before I went out and had when I came back, there was a group that called me Randizzle. Aaron and his wife and some others, they call me Randizzle. And so I just kind of rode with that and went to Diz. Plus the wife didn't like Diz, so I had to go with Diz.
let's go in a circle. Crispy.
Back in 1996, I was in a fire where I'd gotten gasoline on my leg, and I got third-degree burns from my ankle to my knee. And ever since then, I was Crispy Critter.
Dang, that's crazy. That's awesome. All right, big dog.
Shoot, it speaks for itself. You know, I've been called a lot of things, but you know, Aaron.
That's what I like to call you. I like to call you Aaron.
Big A and Aaron. But I've always been pretty much called Big Dog for a long time, and the club basically said, "Hey, that's your nickname."
Like it or not.
Yeah, you're AKA Big Dog.
When you have him next to his bulldogs, it looks like a family photo. You know
For sure.
Like,
for sure.
Who says dogs don't look like their owners, huh?
yeah, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so I feel like that was kind of a setup question for you though, Sean, because the counselor in me is coming out and let's. So what nickname would we give Sean if Sean was in a?
Well, I have two
club?
nicknames. One I like, one I don't.
Oh, okay.
So the one that I'm called Mad Max because my bike looks like a Mad Max, you know,
Out of the
Fury
Mad
Road.
Max.
Yeah.
That's a cool one.
I like it.
The other one's not so cool.
What is it?
We were on a ride. We were at a hotel someplace, and I guess I got my time mixed up. So I spent more time in the shower. I got ready for the ride. Hey, Princess, what's taking you so long? Hey, Princess, you done shampooing? So now they call me Princess because I wanted to bathe before spending 500 miles on a bike. You know, my bad.
That's not a bad nickname. I'd rock Princess. I'd rock that with pride, man.
Yeah. So they're like, when are you going to get your patch? I'm like, if it says Princess, I'm not wearing the patch, man. I probably will.
Hey, I got to put Jared on the spot. So Jared's going to sell his truck and get a bike.
Yes.
Oh,
Does the wife know?
She knows. She doesn't love the idea.
Hey. He's going to sell the truck.
Yeah,
So
she knows. She's not exactly
we've already got a nickname for Jared.
Oh boy.
J Dog.
J-Dog.
I got a bike for Jared too.
Yeah, the one that doesn't run?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Sign me up, man. Ready to rock. Cool. So I appreciate you guys kind of sharing everything you guys have shared so far. One thing that I was curious about is obviously the whole wife not wanting to get a motorcycle ties right into this question. It can be scary. Yeah. Like riding a bike, there can be some pretty scary experiences. So what has been your guys' crazy or most scary experience while you've been out riding?
I've been hit from behind, just right there by the Green Valley Market. I got hit from behind, and literally I didn't have a helmet on, and I remember flying in slow motion on the air. Don't hit your head, don't hit your head, don't hit your head, because I didn't have a helmet, and I landed on my hands, on my legs and my knees, and I looked up and said, "Oh, minor bumps and bruises." Went to stand up, and my ankle folded out from underneath me.
Ooh.
So that put me up in the hospital for a while, and that bike was totaled, went away. Bought another one, of course, because I'm going to ride forever. The one I'm trying to sell you right now, I got hit from behind on that one as well. Not so much damage on that one, but still I've been hit from behind twice here in St. George. I've been riding as long as Aaron, probably longer because I think I'm older than him. No.
Hit from behind, though, that's a different kind of scary because you don't even see it coming.
Yeah. Little old lady, she said she didn't see me. It was a red light. She was doing over 20, coming up to a red light, and she hit me from behind.
Dang.
So, she just didn't see me. She didn't see the red light either, obviously.
That's scary. That is scary. Crispy, you got one for us?
I ride pretty aware, so I've been fortunate enough not to have anything too crazy. I've ran off the road a couple times, or when you get stuck in between two diesels and the wind's trying to suck you both directions, but that's kind of just part of my daily commute back and forth to Mesquite. I mean, it's just...
So you ride a bike back and forth every day?
Every day, yeah. I mean, not every day, but about 80% of the time.
Okay. What about in because my thing is I've been telling Mandy, I can ride a bike down here year round. Why not, right? Inexpensive on gas, insurance. So even when it's cold, you drive? You ride the bike?
Oh, yeah.
See,
I grew up in Ogden. I grew up in Ogden, and I rode year round.
Get out of here.
No, bundled up, gloves, everything. But yeah, I rode year-round in Ogden as well.
That's cool, man. That's
St.
cool.
George definitely has year-round riding weather. for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, big dog. Craziest experience you've had on a bike.
I gotta say, in all honesty, it's scary. It can be scary. Around town, you got to be really careful. I have close calls every time I ride. People turn in front of you. You really got to watch, the person driving in the car, watch their mannerisms, watch what they're doing, and just be really aware. But it's actually, when I go out and ride, I've already made my peace with God. And, I feel like I'm protected out there.
So you don't lose too many sleepless nights over it?
Not at all. None.
Okay.
I mean, you can get killed just walking out of the house in the morning.
That's true.
But, it's relatively safe, especially out on the freeway. The new law they have, lane splitting, I think that helps a lot. I wish more people knew about it. I still get honked at and flipped off. But I kill them with love.
So
I just
educator,
wave at 'em.
Yeah, for sure. You're that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Even when people follow you.
Yeah.
In their car to yell at you.
Yeah.
We won't go to that story though. So Randy knows what I'm talking about. Crazy stuff happens to Big Dog, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what's lane splitting? Educate the listeners.
So that's just a law they came up with in Utah. It's been that way in California for years and years and years. But Utah finally got on board, and it's basically when you got a bunch of traffic, you can lane split up to the middle, up the middle to the light, as long as you're not going any more than 15 miles an hour. And once that light turns green, you have to merge into the lane.
Okay. But until you get there, you can go between vehicles.
Yeah.
Big Dog's from California, so he calls it lane splitting. But here in Utah, it's actually called lane filtering, the law here. So it's just a little bit different law. Just in case people start looking up lane splitting, they're not going to find lane splitting. That it would be known as lane filtering here.
Okay. So this podcast is in a ton of states, man. Ton of states. Every state in the United States except for 2 of them. I wonder how many of the other states have that law. Is it a pretty common theme in other states?
There's a few.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just second nature to me. So
right. You've been doing it since you were, what, 14?
I was doing it before it was legal here in Utah.
You were probably driving before you were legal to drive.
He's not legal to drive now.
Oh, it's been fun. Good times. All right. So, yeah, I already asked that question. Okay. So we're getting into, it's been great so far. Really, if I had to paint a picture or put a definition on what we've covered so far, it's your guys' life in recovery today, right? I mean, you're a part of this riding club, getting out doing events, raising money for people, a lot of really good stuff. Life hasn't always been like this, though, I'm sure. Let's just share clean time. So I know you mentioned Diz.
223. 2 years. I got 2 years in February 23rd.
2 years?
Yep.
Crispy?
August 17th of 2017.
Cool.
5/11/2008.
Beautiful. 7/3/2014. So 2, I'm terrible at math.
4.5.
4.5.
13 going on 14.
7. There's a lot of clean time in this room.
Absolutely.
Life wasn't always this good, guys. Talk to me about like what was your lowest point, your AKA rock bottom? I don't always believe in rock bottoms, but it's fine. It's a buzzword. Or turning point, like when you just decided that you'd had enough. Like, how did you get here today?
I can say for myself, since I got the less clean time out of everybody, I'll go ahead and speak. When I was living in my trailer, I had a travel trailer that was out parked on side house, married to my wife, hiding from my wife so that she didn't see that I was using, hiding from everybody, just not wanting to see any of the brothers that I knew for long times, Aaron, people like that. Didn't want to run into them, nobody, nowhere. Didn't want my wife to see me, so I ran my own business for several years now. So I would sleep or do whatever I did until about 5, 6 o'clock at night because I knew what time my wife got off, and then I would hurry and leave an hour or so before she got home, and then I wouldn't come home till after she went to bed. But just having to hide from my wife and my family and not be present for them in their lives, that was my turning point, and luckily my wife finally told me one day, she says, you know what, you're either going to go to treatment or you're going to go. One of the two. That's your two choices. And as fast as she said it, I said, when do I start? I was ready to go. Knew that it was time. I knew that I was over with and I didn't want to be there no more. And I just asked her when and where. And so she had me set up. But she's like, you're going on Sunday. This was like a Monday, and she's like, you're going Sunday. The bus will pick you up and you're going. I was like, all right, let's get up.
That's awesome.
So, just having that wife that she knew, but she didn't want to know. So she just let me stay in the trailer and just didn't try to see me. But finally just come to a point that she just couldn't do it no more. She just didn't want to do it no more. She wanted to have what she signed up for, and that was, a husband that was there for her, present for her. I made a commitment to her through the church. We took temple vows, and she wanted that. That's what she wanted, and that's what she wanted back, and so it was time, and so that's where we're at today.
Beautiful, man. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. Crispy, what does your turning point or rock bottom look like?
Mine is not overly complex. I had a sample of recovery back in about 2010 range. I didn't understand recovery, but I had a little sample, so I knew that there was something different. So every success that I'd ever had tumbled down with the use of drugs. All traveling different countries, working, high positions, everything that I ever accomplished always came crumbling down. So
you built it up and burned it down several times.
Several times, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, some of the opportunities that I burned down would have been really big opportunities. I probably very much would have still been at some of those today, provided that I was living a different way. So I knew that there was something different that was available. I just didn't completely understand it. So when you fast forward to the day that I got clean, I'm sitting on a couch and I am self-medicating with any way that I can just to try to maintain enough energy to move, because it's not my couch. I'm sitting on somebody else's couch, and the clock is ticking to the time frame that I have to be there, right? And so I'm trying to think of my next move, and it's either go out and do something dramatic to accumulate enough monetary support to continue to maintain that, which I'd been doing that for a while, and it was just up, down, up, down, up, down. So a light turned on, and it said, hey, you've had enough. Like, if you go back out there this time, there might not be any turning back for a long time. And just the way that I felt at that moment. So I had called a friend of mine and said, hey, I've got to figure something out. We got to get me locked up away for a little bit. I didn't have any way of going through detox or treatment or anything like that.
No money.
No
insurance.
Nothing.
Okay.
And so I was like, give me a ride to the hospital. And you and I will collab on this story that I'm suicidal and it's about to go down. So I get there, they take me in. I get a little bit of clean time, just a few days, and then they say there's a place out in Phoenix that accepts everybody. It wasn't a treatment center, but it again would allow space. So I went out there. That was a really hard environment out there, but I stayed clean throughout its entirety. And then by the time that I came back home, I had about 3 days, and I had absolutely nothing, but I had more than what I did when I was still using, right? I had my sense. And so it was never a question of, do I want to go back to that misery, right? So that was my turning point.
You know what I love about that?
No.
I always say, like, people talk about, treatment centers and different options and different pathways. And like, when you're ready, it doesn't matter if you don't have a dime to your name. It doesn't matter if you don't have any insurance. If you want to get clean, there's a way to do it.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Right. Like the treatment center that I went to, and I'm going to get to you, big dog. Sorry. I just got this little rant I got to go off on here for a minute. Like,
do it.
Mine was a Medicaid treatment center, and it was around a bunch of dudes that had been counted out from prison. And it was a bunch of like dudes that were not, they were some scary dudes. Right. I was ready to get clean. So that's all it took. You know what I mean? And I love your story because it's like, be resourceful. Sure. Just take that first step in faith, whether it's going to the hospital or heck, even the first step was calling a friend, right?
Yeah.
And if you truly have the desire, a path will unfold. That's the beautiful thing about all of us in this table. I had somebody call me last week and say, hey, I'm out here dying on these streets. I know that you're a guy, people have told me that you do this podcast and, can you help me out? And I gave him some resources to go to. I don't know what happened to him, but I gave him some resources. Like, once you're ready, just take the first step and the path will unfold itself.
Absolutely.
That's super cool. Thank you. All right, big dog.
All right, buddy. How much time we got? Which time? Which rock bottom you want to talk about? The one that finally stuck?
The one that finally stuck would probably be the best.
All right, so I used and abused for 30 years, running and gunning on and off. A big shout out to Judge Beecham. Sent me down to the Salvation Army in Las Vegas to a 6-month in-house treatment. And
you're showing some love to a judge?
Yeah, definitely.
That's
even
cool.
Better than that. After I got done and graduated, AP&P, Adult Probation and Parole, really helped me out. I had 2 different parole officers that, shout out to them. They really helped me along the way.
They were positive support systems somehow?
They were positive.
They weren't just out to get you?
No, they called me on my shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that works.
They made a deal with me. At least my last parole officer made a deal with me. He said, if you can stay clean for 18 months and pay your fines, he goes, I'll terminate you off probation.
Pretty good deal.
I did. And he terminated me after 18 months. And right away, I started thinking that, I could use and drink on the weekends and still maintain my job. Of course, we know what happens.
We all know what happens.
Weekends turn into every single day. And which was truly a gift in the end. I mean, I went out for 4 more years running and gunning, and the disease and that decision took everything from me. I don't know why our ends sometimes start with a trailer, but mine did. Somebody had given me a travel trailer that I was living in out in the desert, and I had a good job. Okay, I was doing flooring, and but I was broke. And nobody'd even loan me a dime in the end. The people I used with didn't even want to hang out with me.
Yeah.
I felt better just being out in that trailer out in the desert than I did around people. And I knew at that point, I was either going to die doing this or I was going to get arrested eventually. And fortunately, one day I was pulling that trailer through the gorge, and I was doing about 90 miles an hour, and that trailer started fishtailing on me, and I stacked it up in the Virgin River Gorge. And, I didn't get hurt. There were some pileups behind me because people drive too fast in the gorge.
Like you dumped it in the river.
No, on a bridge about 100 feet off the river. The trailer broke free from the frame of the truck and passed me up going backwards.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Serious, bro.
For a second, did you just think like, is this really happening or am I just tripping?
Yeah, I thought I was going to die.
So I don't mean to laugh, but just.
And then, my thought was I had forgotten I had a warrant out of Washington County. And then my only thought was, was my one-eyed cat that was in the back of the trailer. So I get out and I'm looking for the cat, and it took about 30 minutes for the highway patrol to show up, and I give them my driver's license, and I'm thinking everything's going to be good. And hey, that cop was shaking when he came back. He says, "I need you to put your hands behind your back." And most people,
you were.
Yeah, most people would be bummed out, but it was like the hugest sense of relief for me because I knew it was time. I knew it was time, and they took me to purgatory, and they told me, look, if you don't come up with $10,000 cash only by the morning, we're going to take you to Kingman, Arizona, because Arizona made you a fugitive of justice. And I didn't even understand all that. And, of course, I didn't make a call because nobody's going to loan me $10,000.
Might as well have been $1 million.
Nah, might as well have been $1 million. But so Kingman was a dirty, hot, nasty jail. If anybody's ever been locked up in there, you'll definitely find God. But after that, they brought me back to purgatory, and then, I knew I was done at that point. I was 44 years old, beat down. Everything I owned had been in that trailer, so all I had in life basically was a desire to stay clean and the clothes I got arrested in.
Hey, wait, what happened to the cat?
Never found him.
Oh.
Never found him.
It's still haunting the gorge right now.
Yeah, I believe me, when I got out of jail, I went back and looked for him.
That's too bad.
But you know what?
That's all you need.
I was given the gift of desperation,
Yeah.
which was the best gift I've ever been given.
Yeah.
And while I was incarcerated, H&I, hospitals and institutions, was bringing meetings of Narcotics Anonymous into the jail. And one night, this guy named Phil, A.K. Eastwood, one of our club members, brought that meeting into jail. And I was listening to what he was saying, and I was hearing a message of hope and freedom. And I thought, if this guy can do it, why can't I?
And that's what I hope anybody that's listening right now to your guys' episode can think that, right?
Absolutely.
Or people that are in early recovery, like, can I continue to do this? Because oftentimes I feel like we're speaking to that addict that's still suffering. Those people probably aren't listening to that podcast. I hope they are. But if not, we're speaking to that person in early recovery. Cool. You guys, we got about 30 seconds left here. Take us out. If people are interested in becoming a part of Fame, or what do you got? What's the closing message that you want to give out?
Gotta have it. Go ahead. You got to at least have a year clean before you can even be considered for Fame in any way, shape, or form. But I'm going to let you speak on that.
Yeah, first, want to also send love to all our other brothers that we didn't have time to mention today, but we definitely couldn't do this without them as well. The best thing to do is if you want to get connected with us is just participate. You'll see us around the family affiliated clothing line. You'll see that around. And if you need help, don't hesitate to reach out, Instagram or Facebook.
Beautiful. Thank you guys so much. I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for coming on today. This was fun.
Thank you for joining us today on We Do Recover with Jared Miller.
Help us spread our message of hope. Like, comment, and share.
If you have any topics or ideas for future shows, please share that on our Facebook page.
That Facebook page is We Do Recover with Jared Miller. If you or a loved one needs help, please reach out to us. Again, thank you for listening.
Brought to you by Steps Recovery Center and the St. George Hilton Garden Inn. This has been a production from a podcast studio.